It's been about a year now since I went on a date with this guy who, on the second date, told me that he kills children. So now that it's been a year, I feel comfortable talking about it. So get ready with me while I tell you the story. So I meet this guy on Hinge at the time, I believe it was, and he's biracial. And then on the first date, he ends up telling me that he's bisexual. So I'm like, yes. And like the first date was so cute also. Like we went to a sushi place and then we went back to his place and like went in his pool. This man was also very rich. Like he lived in a 4-story freaking like condo. I don't even know what. Like I was just like, whoa, you really have a lot going on. He had like a Tesla and everything. I was like, damn, okay. Like I am in it. Like I'm ready to be your wife. So then the second date rolls around and I go back to his place and we're hanging out, have a good time. We, do the deed. And it was great. It was fantastic. However, immediately after the fact, we're laying in the bed and I'm just making casual conversation with him because what else am I gonna do? I like to ask people like, oh, what are your flaws? Because I just think it's interesting to hear people's responses and like how they kind of perceive themselves. And he is completely deadpan, no like emotional whatever. He goes, oh, I kill people. And my first thought is, kill who? I'm in your rich ass house, and if something goes down, like I feel like this man has enough money to like make me go away. Do you know what I mean? So I was like scared. So out of my natural instinct, I was like, oh, like who do you kill? And again, he's serious and like I'm kind of serious because I just like said it more casually because he was being casual. And so I go, oh, who do you kill? Because I'm hoping to God he's not going to say he's about to kill me. And he goes, oh, children. Completely serious. Oh my God, I look so crazy. Hold on. So he says it completely serious.
You guys, this is the craziest story I have ever heard. I just have to share this, and this is why you have to be careful when you hook up with people when you're traveling to a foreign country. So this girl, I'm just gonna call her Natalie. I'll just use my name. So Natalie was traveling to, I don't want to say the name of the country, but she traveled overseas from America. And she was in this country for only a few days and she ended up meeting this guy at a bar. We're gonna call him Sam. So Sam and Natalie headed off and they go to multiple dinners together, where I was told that Natalie said that he was constantly feeding her like an insane amount of food at each dinner. Like, it was her last night with Sam and she still hadn't gone back to his place, and he was really adamant about her coming back home with him, and he kept asking her at dinner like, oh, you're gonna come back home, right? You're gonna come back home with me, like you leave tomorrow. Natalie got a little bit creeped out by it. She ended up calling her sister because her and her sister were on the trip together, and she left the dinner. She didn't go back. She's like, oh, my sister needs me, I gotta go, blah blah blah. And she said like Sam was blowing up her phone. Anyways, she gets on her flight, she goes back to the United States, and she develops I can't even say it. She develops a rash on her back. So she goes to the dermatologist, told the dermatologist, hey, like I just came back from this country, like I developed this rash, not sure what this is, test for it, and then, let me know what comes back. So she was on campus when she got the call from her dermatologist, and her dermatologist was, why am I saying it like that? Her dermatologist was like, call me right now. So her derm calls her and she's like, what are you doing? I need you to come to the office right now. Police are gonna be here. And she was like, what's going on? And she's like, come, I can't say it over the phone. So the girl comes to the dermatologist's office, and it wasn't even the police, it was FBI. Turns out that the rash that was on her back was actually a cream that was put that's used for cannibalism. The FBI ended up asking her, like, who have you met with in the last 6 months? She told them about the guy. FBI ends up working with the police in that country. They raid the guy's apartment and they found multiple skulls and limbs that belonged to several women that were missing. And he fully intended on killing her and eating her. Apparently, like, that's the reason why he was taking her to dinner and trying to really get her full. I don't even know. Just be careful out there when it comes to hooking up with people, because you never know, you never know.
If y'all don't take any advice from me ever, please take this advice. Stay off of dating apps. When I tell you my story, you're probably gonna be like, what the? Long story short, I met this guy on Be Okay. Be Okay. I'm the type of person, I'm not comfortable just meeting up with you the first day that we match. But this was different.
Her video was a really long video, so I'm going to try to break down as much as possible. She said she met somebody on a dating app, on the BLK app. They got along really, really well. They talked on the phone for like 8 hours on FaceTime, and she met up with him like the next day. And she said she typically doesn't do that. She typically has to text for a while, call for a while, so on and so forth before she meets up. The first time that they met up, she said she went over there, meaning she went to his house. First, no. If your intention is to look for a relationship, hell, if your intention is just to have a good time, okay, you just want to have a little sneaky link or whatever, going to their house on the first time is not safe for anyone, especially not for Black women, okay? Y'all need to go and meet at a public location, you know what I'm saying, catch the vibe, hang out a couple of times, and then determine if you really want to be in this person's personal space like that. So then she continues on saying that she could only go to his house around 7 o'clock at night, and he would put her out the next day, right? Why is he putting you out? Because the way she was telling the story was like, this is her man. Big red flag. Like, that should have been the last time that y'all even spoke. But okay, I get it. I'm going to blame it on the youth. Sometimes you got to go through a few things. Then how the climax came in was one night she was supposed to go over there, but he called her like, listen, I really need you. Come through. She's like, I dropped everything and I went. When she went over there, now he started getting aggressive, starting to get a little bit violent. Now she's a little bit scared. And that's pretty much where that video ended. I did not look at part 2 because I can kind of see where it's going, but y'all can go look at part 2 if you want to. Now, first and foremost, when someone has the amount of time to sit up on the phone with you all night, 8 hours, that's a red flag right there on both ends, okay? Why do you have that kind of time? Why? Now, maybe you could say, you know what, you just really feeling the vibe and you just, you know, you feeling good about it. Okay, cool. Then when y'all decide to meet up, the very next day is what she said. She was like, yeah, I'm ready to meet up right now. Why was his first thing to say, come to my house? Why didn't this man who was so interested in you, so engulfed in you, why didn't he want to take you out and show you a good time, make you feel good about yourself? Why wasn't that the option? Another red flag. Now, the most glaring red flag in this story was, I believe the man did not work, but she can only come to his house at a certain time of day, and he literally was forcing her out the next day at the same time. That is very odd, especially for someone that does not have any responsibilities, okay? Why is this happening? This should be alerting you, making you have questions in your mind. This should be making you walk away, okay? So again, this is not about where she met this particular person, because if she met this person, like I said, at church, in a supermarket, at a gas station, and they had the same connection, the same vibe, all of this would have still transpired, okay? So now it has to come down to utilizing your discernment. And then also, he didn't work, but he was still paying his bills. Like, how? Was money growing on a tree outside his house? Let me know so I can go pick some, right? So, ladies, we have to take accountability for what we choose to ignore, for putting our safety at risk, for allowing people into our lives who are showing us that they're not worthy of our time, okay? Stop blaming it on everything else. Take accountability for the fact that you did something that you should not have done. And now you let something into your life that can possibly be harmful to you.
Get ready with me while I tell you this fucked up, scary Tinder story that's probably gonna make you never want to get on a dating app again. So I used to work in a bar, and this girl would come in the bar. She was one of the bartender's really good friends. And she came in one day and she was like, Shay, do I have a story to tell you? You are not gonna freaking believe it. And I'm like, what? What is it? Give me the tea. I forget her friend's name, so we're gonna call her Martha, and I wouldn't put her name out there anyway. But Martha is one of her friends, and she was having really bad dating luck. And then one day she decided to go on Tinder for the last time. She was like, I'm pretty much done with dating for now, but I'm just gonna get on this app and I'm gonna go on this date with this one last guy. So she goes to dinner with this guy. Dude's really weird. She's not feeling it, but he's definitely feeling it. This is the first time that I'm using this, so bear with me here. I'm not really sure where to put it. So he asks her to go out and get some drinks with him, and she's like, no, I'm just gonna go back to my parents' house tonight and just chill and hang inside. Thank you for the invite, though. Oh boy. So he's like, all right, no worries. So she goes home to her parents' house. Now, mind you, her parents' house is like sort of in the middle of nowhere, and her parents are out of town. Also, she tells this guy her parents are out of town for whatever fucking reason. So anyway, she's chilling, hanging out at the house, and then she hears a weird noise, but she doesn't hear it again, so she goes on about her night. Next morning, she goes out to run some errands, and she comes back and she starts hearing the noise again. This time, she's completely freaked out and she calls the cops. She tells the operator what's going on, and the operator's like, The operator tries to keep her calm, having conversation with her, but the whole time the operator knows that the phone lines are being tapped. Also, important part, the operator doesn't tell Martha that the cops are coming because, again, she knows the phone lines are being tapped. She just talks to her to keep her calm, just like asking questions about what's going on and stuff. When the operator gets word that the cops are there, she says, Martha, walk outside real quick, look to your left and look to your right, and tell me what you see. She said, I don't see anything. And she goes, run for the gate now. Martha runs for the gate and the cops are there. The cops go inside and you'll never fucking believe what was in the basement. The man she went on a date with was building a cage in the basement. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there on those dating apps.
I'm so shocked right now. Okay, I already gave up the dating apps, but just let this be a warning to everyone out there who's still on them. Don't trust anybody. I know that sounds crazy and a little cynical, a lot cynical, but I've now had way too many experiences where I just think it's too easy to be this ideal person on those apps. And so many women get caught in these kind of traps where you're already 5-6 dates in and then they reveal their true colors and it's not what you signed up for. So I dated a guy last November and I really liked him. He was he was engaged like 6 months prior. And that's when they broke off their engagement like 6 months before we started dating. So he'd had some time to kind of like heal and reflect. And he told me he was in therapy now still. They dated for a long time. So I kind of was like proceeding with caution because I knew, okay, there's no way this man is just fully healed and ready for a serious relationship again, which is what I'm looking for. But we got along really well. He was super funny, really cute. We just had so much in common. He was so chivalrous. I don't know, he just did everything right. But in the back of my head, I was kind of like, okay, this is going almost too well, you know? So I had doubts, but not really any proof to back it up. We went on 4 dates, and after the 4th date, I could just feel he was a little bit more distant, and I saw that he was still on all the apps. And like, I mean, all the apps. He was on like 4 different dating apps. So I just told him, hey, you know, it's been really nice getting to know you. I think we're looking for different things here. And I'm just going to take a step back. And he just didn't respond. I sent like a nice message, but I just like, I wasn't getting what I needed back. A few months later, I see him on Raya, or he sees me on Raya, and he messages me and is like, hey, I'm so sorry about the way things ended, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't in a great place. Hope you're doing well. Kind of hinting that he wanted to see me. And I was just like, wish you the best. I'm so sorry you were going through a hard time and I hope it's better now. But, you know, don't bring me into your mess. I had posted him in this group. I won't reveal the group, but the girls that know. It's a confidential group of women that you can post somebody and see if anyone's had negative dating experiences. It's mostly for like, you know, dangerous guys or like guys with girlfriends, those kind of dudes. So I posted him when we started dating and I didn't really hear anything. Months later, I get a message.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So I've been meaning to make this video for a long time now, but I haven't had a chance to really make it. But after watching a couple of these videos, it's insane. It's super insane. I've always believed and it's better to meet people in person, only because dating apps it's just so much easier for people to just swipe left and swipe right, so they don't really take what they're doing seriously. But I always believe in like meeting people in real life, you know, but right now it's just things are different where most people are online. And even if you were to go out, unless you go to a bar, usually I go to a bar, but I sit at the bar, but very close to the bar, and that's how I meet guys. You know, whenever I'm like out by myself, I'm usually not out trying to meet guys, but it just so happened that I meet them. But it's kind of hard for a lot of people to go out and just meet people, you know, just doing regular running errands and stuff like that. So dating app is something that a lot of people do, but I highly recommend you to be very careful. And if you do meet people online, it's good to not invite them to your house or go to their house. Just go to a place where you can meet them in public and meet them during daylight time, because it's just very scary out there. People are crazy, so be careful out there.